Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this.
Hartford Whalers back at night.
Bronny James for three from the Los Angeles Lakers. Bronny James.
When it comes to Bronny James' professional career so far, he's played a total of 12 games. 6 of those in the preseason, 5 of those in the NBA, and now 1 of them in the G League. And for Bronny's career, there's one common through line in all of those games. When Bronny steps on the floor, he is by far the most passive player in the entire game.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Bronny on the court has no killer instinct, no drive, and him playing basketball looks like a side job, a hobby, something he does here and there, but doesn't take it super seriously. You might say Bronny's attitude in the NBA is the attitude of someone who's been handed everything at every single turn. When it comes to the G League, most of these guys, they are fighting for their basketball lives on a game-to-game basis. And if they played like Bronny, they'd get cut in an instant. But luckily for him, his dad is the GM of the LA Lakers. Now, looking at Bronny's debut in the G League, there was hype, a lot of buzz surrounding this game. It actually sold out. Gotta give Bronny credit, he does one thing very well. He can garner attention, create buzz, and get butts in seats. But beyond that, there's not much to him. As looking at Bronny's debut, 6 points, 4 assists, 5 turnovers, 2 of 9 shooting, 0 of 4 from deep. And what makes that performance so embarrassing, Bronny in this game, he started, played 31 minutes, the second most on the team, and took the third most shots out of anyone on the South Bay Lakers. Despite that massive workload getting his shots, his touches, Bronny in this game still was a -1 for the plus-minus. Out of all the starters, the only one in the negatives. And to add insult to injury for Bronny in this game, yes, he was 2 of 9 shooting, which is absolutely abysmal. But to start this game out, he was 1 for 1. So the rest of the game, he was 1 for 8, an absolute brick. In other words, a typical Bronny performance. We're getting to the point nowadays where reality is starting to hit very, very hard. As even the most ardent Bronny defenders have to kind of admit this guy right now is a pretty bad player. Doesn't matter how many clicks he gets, how many likes he gets, how many articles, pregame segments you have. This guy as a basketball player is absolutely atrocious.
Hesitation, kick over in the corner, James, 7 on the shot clock, 1 dribble pull up.
And the biggest insult for Bronny, of course, being LeBron's son. If you watch this game not knowing that, not knowing who LeBron's son was, you wouldn't guess Bronny was the 3rd cousin, 4th cousin related to LeBron or even the James family. Bronny's overall game has no resemblance to his dad in any positive way. Now, if I had to guess who was LeBron's son, I might say someone like Quincy Oliveira. That's LeBron's son. Now, of course, Quincy not LeBron's son. It's Bronny. But watching Quincy play the intensity he has, why is Quincy so intense and Bronny James so passive and just kind of aloof on the court? One might say why this is because Quincy earned his way to the pros and had to grind for it. Whereas Bronny James was quite literally handed everything in college, the summer league, getting drafted, and of course debut in Los Angeles. Someone like Quincy earned his spot in the NBA, played in college for 5 years, got a 10-day contract, and earned his way on the preseason roster. And looking at Quincy's debut in the G League, of course compared to Bronny, it's not even close. Quincy, 28, 10, and 6, made 7 threes, was a plus 10.
Not bad.
Quincy right now, as is, I could see him playing for the Lakers being their 12th man, 11th man, just kind of going on road trips following the team, getting the occasional minutes in garbage time. Bronny James, even compared to Quincy, a potential bench warmer, doesn't compare to him in any respect. And even going one step further, comparing their preseason numbers, looking at Quincy versus Bronny, as well as this guy named Armal Torre, who's also in the South Bay Lakers, even he outplayed Bronny in the preseason. Bronny James, compared to those 2 undrafted rookies, ranked last in points per game, last in percentage, last in free throw percentage, and last in plus minus. That right there is Bronny James compared to undrafted rookies. We're not comparing him to NBA starters, NBA bench players, or NBA bench warmers. We're comparing Bronny to G League players and someone like Armel Torre who's coming off the bench for the South Bay Lakers. Even with that very low bar, Bronny James still can't clear it.
Oh, that's not good.
That right there's my entire problem with the Bronny James phenomenon. This guy, every single turn, been given the benefit of the doubt, been handed things that he simply does not deserve. In college, he was an awful player. They said, just a freshman. Summer League, played awful. Well, it's not real basketball. Still getting used to the game, being a pro. Now fast forward to the preseason, somehow even plays worse. But don't be too hard on him right now. It's not the actual real games. Now, the real games come, he's a glorified joke, bench warmer, we understand that. And of course now in the G League, Bronny James still playing awful and underperforming. At what point do we just admit it, Bronny James is a terrible player at the NBA level? I mean, thus far, has had 12 games as a pro, Summer League, preseason, and now the G League, and in all those arenas has been absolutely dreadful. In those 12 games, 35 total points, 9 assists, 12 turnovers, 26% shooting, and 4% from 3. You heard that right, 4% from 3 with a plus minus of minus 71. It's actually impressive Bronny James somehow shot 1 of 21 from 3. Someone like Shaq in his career was 1 for 22, which means Bronny percentage-wise is on par with Shaq from behind the line. So I guess in some ways Bronny James is kind of emulating a Lakers legend, of course not LeBron, but in some ways emulating Shaq.
Come on, get it! That's a pass! That's a pass! That's a pass! That's a pass! Oh!
Is he not the chosen one?
And one thing I keep hearing time and time again about Bronny, just wait for him to get his rhythm, his confidence, to find his shot, then everything will work it out, he'll be a good pro. And again, we've been waiting for almost a year now, and it's the same old thing time and time again.
Well, we're waiting.
At this rate, Bronny James, he's going to be 35 years old in the G League, and the diehard fans start to be saying, give him time, give him space, don't put too much pressure on him. Yes, he's 35 pushing 40, but he's almost there. These people are that delusional and that far gone. What I see Bronny James being in 25 years is a cautionary tale and a punchline to a lot of jokes. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.